Hi, I'm Ben Cousins. What you're about to watch is a documentary we started making in early 2008. At that stage, I didn't know where it would lead, but I thought it was important to have a record of the things that were happening to me. I understand that some of the footage you see in this film is very troubling, and it doesn't always depict me in the best light. But I feel there's some real lessons to be learned here, and I think some good can come from it for everyone. I hope this documentary can send a powerful message to young people, for that matter all people, about the way drugs affect your life. If it helps save one person's life, or helps us better understand addiction, then it will have served its real purpose.
He had the world at his feet.
People used to refer to him as the Prince of Perth.
Benny, he's the best. We went with the Brownlow Medal, and that's the best in the country.
A very handsome man who could play football really well, who was in the press all the time.
Ben Cousins shirtless and in the custody of police.
He was looking at me saying, how can you say what I'm doing is bad when you haven't ever done it?
Doesn't matter who you are, if you use it often enough, you will become addicted to it.
A very sad demise of a wanted man who seemed to have the world at his feet.
Crack, crack, crack.
Addiction doesn't pick and choose.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Ben? Hello, mate. It's been a long time.
It has.
Been a long time getting here. A lot of questions.
Looking forward to it.
You look different.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
So the ponytail, the beard, there's nothing more to it than that? It's not an act of defiance or something like that?
No. Yeah, I don't think I'd read too much into it.
Do you understand why people want to hear from you?
You know, I understand the rules. So if you make your bed, you lie on it.
What bed have you made?
Well, in recent times, it hasn't been kept, I guess. But you know, hopefully, you know, people can see that I'm having a crack at turning that around.
Brownlow medalist to prisoner. It's a big fall from grace.
When you say it like that, it is. But, you know, I'm just a person like anybody else. No better, no worse. You know, I'm not above hard times.
Is this your last chance?
I'm not sure if it's my last chance, but I don't think I have too many more.
You've had a few?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I've stuffed things up royally. Yeah, so yeah, it's, you know, it's time, I think. It's time.
Time for what, Ben?
Well, just to get things right, you know.
Are you still using drugs?
No, and, you know,
So I'm clear. Can you tell me 100% you're not using drugs anymore?
Well, it's you know, it's I'm sort of thinking answer that. I'm just not sure about that's the way I want to, you know, because my issues have been, you know, greater or more complex than my drug use. It was more on a personal level that there was a number of different things that I wasn't coping with. You know, in a perfect world, I would have liked to have sort of come out the other side a long time ago, but it hasn't been the case. So, yeah.
You were so good at football, and it was such a great career. Feel you needed to use drugs?
Not sure. It just was what it was. I'm not sure. I think if I had my time over again, I would have tried to not go down a similar path. I'm not sure whether I could have or not.
You know, I think of drug addict, I think of people sleeping in a cardboard box under a fucking bridge. So not true.
Beer calms you down.
Of course it
like
does.
meth calms you down. Ice calms you down.
I want there to be carnage. Blood will spill.
I just want to be normal.
Here's a bit of artwork, Ox.
What about that? Such is life.
Ben decided that outside his professional time, in his personal time, he needed to live a certain way.
Now, I wouldn't have butter on my toast, let alone fucking have a beer or take drugs. And I would train and obsess and play good footy. And the thing that would get me through those tough moments, those tough days, times when I wanted to get on, was I knew at the end of that 1 week block, 2 week block, or even sometimes as long as a month, I was going to absolutely annihilate and launch into as much drugs as I could.
I was a bit of a risk taker. I wanted to see how far I could push things, you know, whether it was, you know, my training or approach to sport. And it sort of flowed over into other areas of my life, you know, and that was probably, you know, my social life or being out and about sort of was another area that sort of got away from me at times, yeah.
Why do you think someone so tough, so disciplined, wasn't able to fight away the eagles of drug addiction?
Well, all I would say is that he didn't believe that there was anything wrong with that. That this is not affecting anyone. This is, for me, in my private life, it's not a bad thing, and I'm going to still be able to train as hard as I can and achieve everything I want to achieve. Why are people worried about what I'm doing in my downtime? Now, that obviously escalated where he didn't really have control at some point, but I would guess that for a long part of it, he thought that was all under control, and he was never ending up under any influence of anything when he had training or games. But really, it was a conscious decision he made that this is okay to do.
Using meth, a lot of people would say, oh, well, I'm pretty strong. I should be able to manage that. But the reality is, doesn't matter who you are, if you use it often enough, you will become addicted to it. It is that sort of substance. It's a very powerfully addictive substance. It overrides every sensible thought you ever had about how you should live your life. So it's not a rational decision. It's a decision based on being addicted to something in such a way that it controls one's life.
If a young person were offered drugs at a party, what would you say to them?
You know, I would encourage them to think long and hard before they decide to go down that path, to be aware of where it can lead to. Yeah, just to take it seriously.
The Major Crime Squad is investigating the sudden death of former Eagles star Chris Mainwaring, and Cousins was one of the last people to see him alive. Drugs are widely suspected of being involved in Mainwaring's death, but the next day Cousins volunteered for and passed a drug test.
I've had to tolerate a lot of innuendo and criticism about the night that I spent with Mainie prior to him passing, and it's a cross that I've had to bear. I'm thankful that I didn't use drugs with him and that I was there for him as a mate.
How close were you?
Oh, very close, yeah. Yep.
Is that as hard as you've experienced?
Yeah, yep. Yeah. Yeah.
I've got to ask you this Why didn't what happened to Maney shock you straight?
Well, it did, I think. Yeah, it did.
But you used drugs again after his death.
You know, I think it did have a significant impact on the lifestyle that I was leading, especially at the time. It was a reminder of how quickly things can be taken away.
You came pretty close to leaving as well. You had a 911 call, Ben, that took you pretty close to the edge.
I'm fortunate that I don't need to do that or take it, that far anymore. On November 19th, 2007, in the aftermath of the 911 call, I was banned by the AFL from playing football for 12 months.
The Commissioner is of the opinion that Mr Cousins has been involved in conduct which was unbecoming and was likely to prejudice the reputation and interests of the AFL and bring the game of football into disrepute.
Everything was now public. He's battled, but he was still at that point, and we were supporting. I want to beat this, I want to beat this. So I did my absolute best to try and hold him accountable to the values that we wanted to live at West Coast, and in the end, we couldn't align on those and there had to be a break.
Do you owe them a sorry?
Oh, I am sorry. I am remorseful, and the fallout from that has been pretty significant on the club. So it's taken a while since that time for the club to find itself back in, a position like it is today.
Do you hold yourself partly responsible for that?
Yeah, no question.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah.
You helped take them down a path that they didn't need to go.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Still really care for him. Good, mate. How you going?
Yeah, good. Good to see you.
See you,
Yeah,
mate.
it's been a while.
Absolutely. Very good to see you.
Yeah, when did you get over?
Last night,
Yeah.
through the storm.
Nice.
How did you find him?
Yeah, I found Ben fairly retrospective. Where he wants his life to get to now is not going to be easy. It might have been for him 15 years ago. He had the world at his feet. It will be hard for him, there's no doubt. There's going to be a lot of challenges ahead for him, but he's mentally tough. And if he sets his mind to something that he wants to do, I know he's got the ability to fight through all this and get there.
It's hard to look at.
No, I was just trying to get a route,
It might not be the best thing you've done, mate, but it's not the worst.
My daddy. I've missed half of my kid's life.
Are you a violent person?
No, I would argue that I'm not.
Yeah, fuck off!
It's not excusable.
He's a nightmare.
Caught up in the emotion of the situation.
And I want there to be carnage.
Do you use drugs in this time?
Blood will spill.
Mate, there's a fantastic of Ben at a spray tan place.
Oh, please.
You might want to show. You posted it. Just to blunt up.
Well, I didn't actually. That was the problem. But yeah, I can't believe it. That was the
So
way
that
it
did the
happened the
rounds?
way it did. But let me tell you, when I looked at it,
So you were just doing someone a favour?
mate, no,
It's hard to look at?
I wasn't doing someone a favour, far out. I was just, I was just trying to get a route, That's what I was trying to do, basically. And it was supposed to go to someone. And then by lunchtime that day, it was on the bloody, it wasn't supposed to go anywhere.
It might not be the best thing you've done, mate, but it's not the worst.
Yeah,
it's not the worst thing.
And I don't know whether that's supposed to give me some solace or not.
It is. Now, I could ask, did it get the desired result? But
no, it didn't. But no, ships only hardships, mate. There's something about a new football. It's the smell, touch. My shoulders prick up and I get excited.
Makes you happy?
Yeah, it makes me happy. Makes me smile. Love it.
But the best part is you get to play around a little.
The captain off his step, round his body, and he drills it.
Well, Cousins has done a hamstring, has he? Yep. He's down. Remarkable. Cousins is down. The concern there.
You'd reckon it's the season, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's a big one. He's serious trouble.
Yes, it looks like for Ben Cousins, his terminal year is probably over.
When you end a career like that, to have put that amount of effort into something and then it just comes to an end, well, what are you going to do then? Where am I at now? When you're getting your Brownlow and you're being seen as somebody doing that and then suddenly that life's over, you're looking to feel as good as you felt then, you might think that you start off feeling good by using drugs.
Jesus. What, head on or what?
Virtually.
You had to get jaws alive on you?
Yeah, so, I remember having the whole thing smashed in around me. I remember calling one of my kids and she normally didn't answer. But I made the call,
Yeah.
I spoke to her, so I've just had an accident. So I was conscious.
It's funny, you keep calling her the mother of your kids. Every time you talk about it, you call her the mother of your kids. Do you do that subconsciously? Or do you do that on purpose?
Well, I just don't usually use the same name, music.
Describe Ben Cousins at his best. Who is he?
Oh, he's gorgeous.
At his worst?
He's a nightmare.
Mum's got a new baby in her tummy and it's going to come out soon.
I know that when I was pregnant with Bobby, we had a 6-week period there where he was clean and wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
You know who I'll be showing this to? The nurse.
No, it was a wonderful surprise. Bobby's an absolute joy. He's a gorgeous child. Ben loves him to bits.
Won't you take me close to you?
Does Bobby want to play footy?
I haven't pushed him into it or whatever, but he's got a bad case of it at the moment.
My daddy.
When I got out last time, so it was I'm a Celebrity Get Me Out of Here was on. So my boy, he just loves fucking spiders and fucking lizards and snakes and everything. And I said to my boy, I said, would you like Dad to go on that? And he goes, oh, I'd love you to go on that, Dad. But he said, I think you have to do something professional first. What? He said, I think you need to do something professional first. I'm fucking not far from the truth.
In 10 more days, I'm going to be the big sister. I love you. I'm glad you're home.
Thanks, sure. I love you too. Daddy's girl.
And is she? Is she Daddy's little girl?
Yeah. It's funny, even like when she was 2 and that, like I used to go around to her house And so I never knew whether I was going to get let in or not. You know, some days I could be, you know, let in and, you know, I'd spend a whole day there. Most of the time I would be either kept out the front or chased down the street. You wouldn't know. But whenever I'd come, you know, like, the kids would hear me and she's only 2, you know, almost with nappies on, and she'd scamper to the door, you know, and sometimes she'd get out the front, you know, as mum would try and lock the door or something like that, and then we'd play out the front, you know. It was funny that, you know, Dad, you can't come in, you know, but you stay there and I'll come back and get us a drink of water, okay? You know, it's just think, this is crazy, you know. Funny kids, aren't they?
You light up when you talk about your kids.
Yeah. Good times, isn't it, really? But I'd love to be living the traditional family life, but I'm not.
When you can't see Bobby and Angela, what are the things that you miss?
Well, it's just, you know, what do I miss? Oh, you know, what do I miss? It's just, you miss watching them grow up.
Kids need you, we need you. Just come home to us.
She said on TV that what they wanted was for Ben to come back to them. Are you ready to go back to them?
Well, I hope so, yeah. I feel that I am. I feel the opportunity is there and it's just about making the most of it.
We can't sugarcoat it, though. You weren't there for your kids because you went to jail because you made threatening and abusive calls, and a lot of them.
Yeah, at the time, I certainly wasn't aware of or understood the impact that I was having on people around me.
Because you were affected by drugs at the time?
Well, just caught up in the emotion of the situation.
Going without your kids?
Yeah. And it led me to do things that I would normally say would be out of character for us, or things that I couldn't or wouldn't have seen myself doing.
What the hell is going on?
I just can't defend myself, you know, with my history, no matter what I do. And then on top of that, no matter what happens in the courts, I have never met anybody, and I know them all. I've never met anyone as defiant or it's not worth the paper it's written on. You know, Mick Gatto couldn't tell her what to do.
He was violent.
I'm just telling you.
What do you mean violent?
He was violent.
And I honestly was going to get him to come over. I was going to give him my Brownlow to mediate. It was that's how big a thing it was, you know, and say, listen, we need, because this is not going to get dealt with in the courts. I was going to say, I'll give you that if you can come over and mediate this, and I want somebody to tell her that if I'm allowed to see my kids, I get to see them.
Are you a violent person?
No, I would argue that I'm not. The paternal rights of a woman or the mother are far greater than they are of a father. I don't think a mother plays any more important role than the bloke does. It needs to be stopped. I say to the coppers every time I see them, I said, you guys have let me down. I said, the community has let me down. My family, her family have let me down. I said, you guys have let this go on for too long. Now, I've gone to jail, I cop it sweet, I come back. I've gone back to jail, I come out and cop it sweet. I can guarantee you, I promised them. I said, I've missed half of my kids' lives. I promise you that if I miss all of it, if I get to a point where I don't think I can come back, I promise you I'm going to turn and I'm going to pick a cause and I'm going to come single-mindedly at that cause or with that cause towards
you, anybody, everything, and I want there to be carnage. Blood will spill. So it's up to you guys if you want to change this. You know, and I'm one person, but it's happening to a lot more than just me. Something's got to happen. The jail is half full of people in exactly my situation. Half. And all of them say the same thing.
Ben Cousins' public spiral has hit a new low. The fallen star was today jailed for 12 months.
I want to go back to this, but the reason you were sent to jail, the reason you were convicted, is pretty bad. Multiple threats, abuse, the threat of domestic violence.
The former Eagles captain admitted stalking his ex-partner and breaching a violence restraining order by trying to contact the mother of his children thousands of times.
You would agree, Ben, that's never excusable under any circumstances.
Well, I wasn't convicted of some of those things, but some of those things I was.
It's not excusable. The things that you did.
I'm not saying it is excusable. 100%. The reasons of me being where I ended up was mine. So I agree with you. Yeah, some of it is inexcusable.
Are you embarrassed about where you ended up?
I'm certainly not proud. You know, that scared me.
Brownlow to Garbo.
Without the truck, yep.
There's no bigger star than this bloke right here.
Do you have grass courts in jail?
Well, as soon as you say you're not going back, you're going back, ain't you?
This is confronting.
Well, I'm on the deck, she's all the gear. I told you that.
Have you used drugs, yes or no?
Good luck, mate.
Good luck, it'd be nice.
Can I ask you, that first night when you go to jail, the door closes behind you, presumably the cell door locks, and you're there alone with your thoughts, did you say to yourself, how did I get here?
No question. And it's probably the first time in a long time where, you know, you feel completely powerless over the situation that you're in, and you can't control, manipulate, change the predicament that you're in.
Are you embarrassed about where you ended up?
Yeah, well, there's an element of that. Yeah, I'm certainly not proud. No matter what I did, I was going to be forced to go through it and suck it up, and you know, that scared me.
Do you know which part you were in here?
Well, I know what units, but yeah, like this bloke here was me. He ran the garden, so he gave me a job both times actually. So it's getting a job is a big thing, because it means that you won't go to a privileged unit unless you've got a job. And if you get a job, it means you get a bit of pay. It means you get out of the unit, responsibility. It's just a good thing, you know. Yeah. And you know, some guys who've got bad form, you know, just won't get them, you know. But it's one of the first steps in moving through the system.
Did you have a job in jail?
I had a few different ones. I was in the garden. I was even in, they call it cleaning party, which is, you know, doing all the garbage and that within the jail too. So
you were the Garbo in jail?
Without the truck, yep.
Brownlow to Garbo inside jail.
I nearly looked at maybe doing that on the outside when I first got out. I thought it'd sort of keep me in reasonable nick, get my work done early, but I didn't follow through with it. But it's not something that I would be opposed to not having a crack at. Yeah.
Do you like Coldplay?
The music?
Yeah.
I do. Mm-hmm.
Coldplay have got a song, I used to rule the world, and now I sweep the streets of the city I used to own.
Is that the line, is it?
Yeah, I used to rule the world, and now I sweep the streets of the city I used to own.
Sweep the streets I used to own.
No, mate. good.
Ben's around here. We'll go around and take it up.
Yeah, no worries.
I don't know which one of you guys is responsible for the rain.
Hi, mate. How are you?
I'm well. How are you? How's this weather? This is
I
nuts.
know. Shocking, eh?
Jeez, it's all happening here.
Won't suit my tennis.
Yeah, you play a bit?
No, I did in there. Played every day. Loved it.
Every day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, look forward to it, you know?
Behind bars, you got to play tennis?
Yeah.
And is that like a rec time
Oh,
thing?
yeah,
Or?
it's a rec time thing. So you sort of got to fight your way to the courts and that, but which is, I was happy to do it, you know. I look forward to me tennis. I really enjoyed it in there, you know. Shit rackets, shit balls and that, but you're sort of competitive and, you know, have a laugh.
You have grass courts in jail? Oh, nice.
No.
Get running.
Why was tennis so important to you?
I just tried to find 2 or 3 things that I look forward to, you know, during my day or week, you know, tennis being one of them. It sort of puts things in perspective. You probably get a bit spoiled on the outside.
I'm going to take that, mate. Thank you.
Well done.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Good luck, mate.
No, thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Good to see you.
Good luck to you as well.
Yeah, good luck. It'll be nice.
You've said in the past that you thought you were always going to end up in jail.
I'm pretty sure that, you know, if it hadn't have been for this last few sort of stints, I would have ended up there anyway. The situation remains for me to sort of take something from the experience and hopefully learn from it. You know, I would have liked to have thought that that would have taken place the first time I went away, and I ended up, you know, doing a lot of things that I said I wouldn't.
8 months the second time.
Yeah, 12 and then 8. So I probably did 2 years out of 3. That's enough, I reckon. 2 out of 3. If you haven't woken up by now,
Not going back?
I don't want to say it. Don't want to say it.
And when you say you don't want to say...
Well, as soon as you say you're not going back, you're going back, aren't you? It's a bit like, I think, I don't want to go back.
It's too much for you out here.
Hey?
It's too much for you.
Well, yeah, you just... Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully.
Can I read something to you? I've got a letter you wrote to one of the stars of Home and Away.
Yeah.
I'll read you a little bit of it.
Basil.
To Mrs. Lynn McGranger. You don't know me. My name is Ben Cousins. I've spent the last 3 years on and off in jail. Until then, I hadn't felt comfortable
within myself mostly, and also in the right company to enjoy watching television for almost 10 years. Aside from how hard this time was, it reignited a passion back in me for television. And I'm proud to say none more so than Home and Away.
Why did you reach out to Lynn McGranger?
I'm not exactly sure. I think at the time, it had an impact on me.
I was surprised and shocked, and because it was so out of the blue. I'm yet to start up work again, and reconnecting with people is hard. It can sometimes feel easier
Reconnecting with people you don't know.
I'm not sure why Ben wanted to reach out to me. I guess it's because of my character is a recovering alcoholic. She knows addiction. She calls a spade a front-end loader. She doesn't beat around the bush. You know, she's a rough diamond with a heart of gold, and she takes in young people who are struggling with addiction, with homelessness, with family issues, with, you know, family violence, whatever.
I'm still in the process of getting back on my feet now after finding myself finally square with the man.
I'm almost positive the man was in capital letters. And I pondered this and I thought, well, I'm sure he's not talking about the head of the jail. I'm sure he's not talking about his boss or the head of football or anyone like that. I just thought that that's what he was referring to, that he was referring to his interpretation of a higher power.
She wrote straight back, Ben. Straight back. She said, I know you well as a fabulously talented sportsman who has had his challenges, but has and is overcoming them. I hope and pray you'll be back on your feet again soon, finding strength in work, good friends and family, helping others who are facing their own challenges, and maybe even a higher power.
I just wanted to talk to him from the heart. Maybe trust in a higher power, whatever that is to you, because sometimes you need that. Sometimes humans can't help. That's what I believe anyway. God bless you, Ben. And who knows, we may even meet up one day. Much love, Lynn McGranger. P.S. I would love to hear how you're travelling from time to time, if you have the chance.
I would love to hear how you're travelling from time to time, if you have the chance. Thumbs up and thank you emoji.
I'm banging my head against the wall.
This is confronting and it's challenging.
Bang, bang, bang.
Have you used drugs, yes or no?
Well, I'm on the Dexys all the gear. I told you that.
It's a pretty simple question, Ben.
If you don't give me the Dexys, I am going to be on the gear.
This is a battle that's never won.
I just thank the Lord that I've got it.
When was the last time you used drugs?
Well,
the roar, if you can win this battle, will be deafening, Ben. People want you to win this fight.
There is always hope. There is always hope, and there is certainly at any stage in anybody's life they can go, you know what, I need to turn this around and do something different.
We've been with you for about 5 days now, filming this documentary. Can you tell us categorically, Ben, have you used drugs in this time?
No. No, but it's it's something that
But it's a pretty simple question, Ben. Have you used drugs, yes or no, in the 5 days that we've been putting this together? No.
Well, when you know, but no.
This is confronting and it's challenging, and you've got a bloke sitting 2 metres away asking you if you're using drugs. How does this environment feel right now?
It's okay. Maybe I'm going to have to answer, questions along those lines, forever.
You hear people say, it's never beaten. This is a battle that's never won. Right now, is that how you feel about it?
Never beaten.
Back a little bit, there we go. Yeah, good, yeah. Do you want to try something? Just landing on the head, just relaxed.
For somebody who is using a large amount of meth over a long period of time, they would have to keep on using more and more quantities of that substance just to feel normal, because that's the nature of how addictive that substance is. You do require more of the drug, more and more of the drug, and a lot of the time you're not actually getting that high, just to feel normal.
Fucking nice to meet ya.
You too, mate.
Fucking killer. I love your work.
No, I'm not sure about that, but yeah, mate.
No,
nice to meet you.
bro. I'm talking about your footy.
Oh, yeah,
I'm not referencing anything else.
No, even if you were, mate, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice to meet you, brother.
I've had my fair share as well. Don't worry about that.
Hope you're going all right, mate. It happens, eh?
Yeah, definitely. I just spent 10 in Greylands, to be honest. Yeah, bro. It's fucking hectic.
Do you want to keep going? You can keep going with this. You happy to?
Bang, bang, bang. I'm banging my head against the wall.
It's trying to survive. I don't like heroin. I don't stop my go.
Have you taken it?
Yeah, of course. And I wish it was. I sort of think I wish I could get on heroin and just fucking cruise through this next 6 months. Well, it would help, but it's not. I don't. It makes me feel a bit squeamish in the stomach. When I'm on the Dexies and that, it helps me. It helps the way I sit and watch TV. I can do that. I can my thought process is better. Well, I'm on the Dexies all the gear. I told you that. Yeah. So I want the Dexies, so I'm not on the gear. Well, I said, if you don't give me the Dexies, I am going to be on the gear.
But when you're on the Dexies, you're not on the gear?
No.
The Dexies calm you down.
And the gear. I've just thanked the Lord that I've got it. You know, I would have probably killed my mum, you know. Well, I say that, but you know what I mean? Someone close to me would have
Well, if you weren't on gear, gear calms you down.
Of course
like
it does.
meth calms you down, ice calms you down. I thought it calms you, it puts you up, not calms you down.
Of course it calms me down. It does that's what it does. I need to take some Dexies and stuff like that because there's some things about my personality or character that before I picked up any gear or whatever that need to be managed. I don't want to be off my head. It's not to get off my head or whatever. It's just to function. Do you understand? Like it's to function. To function. I just want to be to lead a normal life. I'm not asking to take. I don't want to take 25 of them.
So it's not that you want to line up a rack of coke tonight. It's not a party thing anymore.
No, I don't party like I don't do it. I just want to be normal. Normal.
When was the last time you used drugs?
It's one of those things. I'd rather not go there. I don't think it helps.
Last week, last month.
Well, you know, not today. You know, and that's got to be enough for me, and it should be enough for other people.
Did you almost have it all?
Almost, yeah.
Where do you live, Ben?
Here.
There's no bigger star than this bloke right here. As a footballer, you get put up on a pedestal. Until you walked in our shoes, you don't really understand. You can't wipe your own ass without everyone knowing what you're doing.
Life begins at 41.
I hope so.
It'll make a lot of people happy if you can get there, mate.
We'll see.
Where do you live, Ben?
Here. Well, I mean, sort of in between joints. It's what I've been saying for a long time. Even when I was at the folks' place, I was in between joints. But I do need to find something less temporary. It seems like ages since I've had just my space. I've learned and relearned, from being in jail that I don't need a lot. It doesn't need to be grand, or it doesn't need to be, expensive. It just, if it's mine and it's, and it's well kept, it doesn't need to be a lot for me to be happy.
There's no bigger star than this bloke right here. He was God to us, man, like growing up. He helped us get through some tough times. Everyone's quick to judge. Like, half my schoolmates are in jail, or, they've got an addiction, or they've got something bad in their life. And I feel, in a sense, I can empathise with what he's been through and what he's done.
Hey, bro. How are you? Hi.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah.
Easy, mate. Good to see you. Good?
Yeah, no, I'm not
Good to see you, mate.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
How about you?
Good.
He couldn't say yes quick enough.
He's a nice bloke, isn't he?
You guys filming? You're filming a bit, are you?
Yeah, mate. This is the first thing well, certainly the first thing from the media thing I've done.
Yeah.
For ages, really.
He tells a story that his first game, he made his debut, it was at the MCG against Richmond, and you were playing. First set of bounce, players come out in the middle and you've walked past and said, "Careful, mate, remember what happened to the last bloke that wore that Guernsey?"
Something like that, I think you're probably right.
Ben Cousins wore it 200 times. Now it's a new number 9. Very different look.
You see your childhood hero, and I'm wearing his number 9. I remember Cousins in the middle talking smack. I loved it. I loved it.
Natanui. Your Cousins, oblivious to what was ahead of him. Straight up now, boys, nothing silly.
As a footballer, you get put up on a pedestal. People forget you're human at the end of the day, so until you walk in our shoes, you don't really understand how hard it is. I won't go to the shops at 3 o'clock in the afternoon because I know school finishes, because you get harassed. And same as Cousins, you can't do that, you can't do this. You can't wipe your own arse without everyone knowing what you're doing.
I remember being in a restaurant with him once, and this woman came up and said, "Oh, can I get a photo with you?" And he goes, "Oh, I don't do photos." He said, "I'm happy to sign an autograph." And she goes, "Oh, you're fucking up yourself." And it was like, whoa, okay.
Young guys, we'll get a photo of the 4 of us, eh? We'll come in, yeah. Not to be rude, but I can understand why people have certain vices or ways to escape that stuff. Those learning experiences have helped me, and I feel selfish at times because he's had to go through it, but it's taught me, you know, don't do this, don't do that, because they can do this for you. I see it from a different perspective. When I see Cousin in the paper and he's doing that, everyone's like, oh, you know, he's done this again, or he's done this, he's done that. But for me, I'm like, fuck, that's me.
Oh, sorry, mate. I've done something to the ankle.
Your family have been through a tough time. You really comprehend how difficult it must have been for them?
How do you think he's going to fare in prison?
The relationship between the two is not great.
It would be very, very tough, I would say, for a parent to manage anybody in active addiction.
I really hope that Ben makes amends with his family.
Have you said sorry to them?
Doesn't matter how old your kids are, they're still your kids.
I'm on my way to meet Brian Cousins, Ben's dad. He's as much a part of this story as Ben is in many ways. He's had to go through absolutely everything, and the relationship sort of hovers between love, hate, love, hate, love, hate. The hate, though, because of the love.
Doesn't matter how old your kids are, they're still your kids. And I understand that pain of a parent looking at a child of theirs and thinking to themselves, oh my God, where did I go wrong?
And Brian's fragile at the moment. He's in a fragile place, and as a father myself, I mean, I think I get that. Brian was going to be involved in this program. He had planned to give an interview to tell his part of the story and to tell Ben's story from his perspective, from Dad's perspective. But I think right at the moment, the relationship between the two is not great, and Brian is of the view that it's perhaps best for Ben just to tell his own story. But I spoke to him yesterday and I said I'd like to chat with him, and he said by all means, and he's happy for the cameras to be there.
It was early morning yesterday. I was up before the dawn.
In some ways, I've become a bit of a conduit between father and son. I've been talking to Brian for pretty much 6 months, and Ben ever since he's come out of prison the second time.
Let me start with your family. Have you let them down? Have you let your mum and dad down?
Yeah, well, yeah, I reckon I've tested their resolve at times, no question.
I think Brian is happy to hear how Ben's going at the times when they're maybe not chatting as regularly as they have been in the past.
For every person that uses meth in a way that is addictive, there is probably another 5, 6, 7, 8 people around them that are going to be seriously impacted by that substance.
Like a ship without an anchor, like a slave without a chain.
After a long period of time of use, that person's personality generally does change. That is very difficult for people, particularly if somebody has been a generous, giving soul and then they turn into this person who is selfish and self-centred and only interested in their needs.
Just sitting here with you and listening to you, and I guess having lived the story because I've been in Perth and seen it, it seems to me that your family have been through a tough time, and I can't help but just wonder how remorseful you are. I wonder whether you really comprehend how difficult it must have been for them.
Well, I know how difficult it's been for me, and now being a father myself, I also know, the concern or worry that I have for my own children. So I understand that side of it, but...
So if you think of your kids and the concerns and passions and joy and worry that you get from them, can you imagine what it is like and has been like for your own mum and dad towards you?
Well, I can, because I know, a lot of that's been taken away from me, all the direct involvement I have in my own kids' lives has been taken away. So I've had to go through that, which has been one of the, probably the hardest thing I've had to go through or experience. So from that point of view, I think I have, yeah.
Have you said sorry to them?
At times, probably, over the course of the journey, but... It used to make me feel good, and I used to feel better that my old man would, when things would go bad, he would stand beside you. He would bend a few rules for you, and he was happy to do it. Like, he didn't let you get away with much.
How do you think he's going to fare in prison?
And I still like that. Like my man now, it's like, I often say to him, I say, listen, well, we're going to go on, how are we going to sort this out? But let's start sorting some stuff out, yeah? I can give it, or give us. I need a couple of hundred so that I can, have a bank. I need a bank to get some stuff done.
Yeah.
And we'll sort out where we get that couple of hundred from. Or I will be in a position to easily get that. I said, but it's fucking been you and your fucking negative, apprehensive fucking, lack of belief in me that has stopped anything good happening for a long time. Yeah. He doesn't think I'm going...
It might come because he wants to be blunt, wants you to be kept clean.
Whatever, I don't know. Because my man doesn't get it.
There are lots of things that people would do because they are in active addiction that they wouldn't ordinarily do. People that started off with quite strong moral foundation, quite strong values, who over a course of time have shifted the goalposts in their life and started to actually engage in behaviours that they would never in a million years have done. It would be very, very tough, I would say, for a parent to manage anybody in active addiction. There are many people who do manage to turn their lives around. I never get sick of people getting their lives back on track.
There's so many people willing him to get better.
But most importantly, you've got to be happy.
Miracles happen all the time.
People want you to win this fight.
It makes me happy.
I want to see him happy.
Tell me what you think when you see that photo. That looks like real happiness on your face there.
Yeah.
If you could go back to that bloke at that time, would you? Should you be doing rehab?
Sorry, I thought this was on silent.
How often a day does the phone ring?
Well, that's not as much as it used to.
To turn your life around from drug use requires a huge amount of hope, trust, and in particular, humility, because it's about saying, you know what, I've screwed up big time.
I'd like him to be looking forward, and it's going to be hard, and it's going to take commitment, but so was having a good AFL footy career.
I don't give two shits about football. Football's football. That might bring you some short-term joy, but I don't know. I just want to see him loving life again and just enjoying people. I'm going to take that, mate. Good luck, mate.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
But the best part
I wish him better. I want to see him happy.
Nice to see you, mate. How you going, buddy?
I really hope that Ben makes amends with his family, with those that perhaps he has wronged on his rocky path.
There are many people who do manage to turn their lives around. But sadly, there are also people who would choose that, you know, for whatever reason, that they want to continue doing what they're doing. And you know what? That's entirely their choice.
You heard the rules when you were playing footy. The roar, if you can win this battle, will be deafening, Ben. People want you to win this fight.
There's so many people willing him to get better. I mean, strangers are willing him, really want him to get better.
I never get sick of people getting their lives back on track. Miracles happen all the time.
Can you get back to that dream? Can you live that traditional family life?
Yeah, well, I think so.
Life begins at 41.
I hope so. Yeah.
Good luck.
Thanks, mate.
You'll make a lot of people happy if you can get there, mate. But most importantly, you've got to be happy.
Yeah, well, it's what we're about. So we'll see.